right, Champions Challenge is over with and done with, and a very successful night for the Prattville Lions. It was a good night for football. I thought the stadium was electric with our fans and Carver's fans, and it was just a good environment to start the year. I thought it was a great football game, very well played on both sides, and of course we come up victorious 37-0. Looking back on the game, our offense really came out hitting pretty well, as opposed to last year, but we were expecting that with our returners coming back and having more experience and more playing time and a little bit more leadership on that side of the ball than we did this time last year. Sam Gibson at quarterback had a wonderful night throwing the football. We were able to throw for over 200 yards on the evening, and I think total offense we were somewhere around 360 on the night. So a wonderful night offensively. Desmond Haley was our leading back, around 90 yards rushing somewhere on the evening. Mario Davis had a fine night with a touchdown and also a nice long run off of a screen pass. Up front, the offensive line did exactly what we needed to do in controlling the front and creating running lanes. And then, of course, giving great protection. We gave up one sack all night, but, of course, it was on a big blitz where they hit us on a long yardage play, but we were able to do a good job other than that. Outside, fine job running the football by our outside receivers, our inside slot guys, both Corey Shelton and Earl Lucas doing fine jobs. Earl Lucas probably having the biggest night receiving. He had 2 touchdown catches, made some big plays for us through the air. And again, just a positive night through the air there. Of course, outside Dalton James, I want to mention him, had 2 great catches on third down to keep the sticks moving and keep the offense with the ball. That ended up being big for us as the night went on through the evening. Also, I'd like to mention Troy Gilmore is our tight end. You may have seen him out there, a little bit more used this year running pass routes, and not much in the way of throwing the ball to him right yet. But at the same time, did a fine job blocking for us. Did not mention him with the offensive line last week, but had a superb night blocking for us and doing a great job on short yardage package also. Looking over on the defensive side, of course, a solid night. I think held them to about 60 yards total offense. They were negative yards rushing on the night, so again, throwing a shutout, first one of the year, just upholding our defensive tradition, and again, very proud of our defensive coaches and the defensive players for doing a great job, just like our offensive coaches. Defensively, probably Nick Perry coming up with an interception. That was the only turnover of the night. He was able to get a tip ball, get a big pick for us. Corey Lee, let me talk about him. 11 solo tackles, 2 sacks on the night. His counterpart being Q-Sean Lee, I believe, had 9 tackles on the night. Several players came up big for us. I think all total we had 8 sacks on the evening, which is a superb job by our defensive front. And our secondary did a fine job. We got beat over the top with a couple of blown coverages a couple of times. We'll make those corrections and get back and do a good job or do a better job in that area also as we get through it. Special teams wise, our kickers did well throughout the night. Our punter and also our field goal kickers, we used 2 of those during the night. And our kickoffs were a little bit more to be talked about. But again, it's the first game of the year, and it was the first live kickoff coverage we had been able to really simulate and give them. Of course, we are going to look at that and try to make some corrections in that area. Punt coverage was great. We got them inside the 21 time. Again, our field goals and PATs were wonderful throughout the night. Also, our kick returns, we had 1, which was decent, set us up around the 30-yard line, which that's what we ask our kick return team to do every time to get our offense going. As far as the closure of the game, it was a wonderful atmosphere again. Our trophy, which we were able to get, it's our first one, our 3rd time playing in the game, our 3rd time being invited, 2nd time playing. So we've had good experience with the Champions Challenge, and we were excited to be in it again this year. Looking on to the start of the year now with North Gwinnett, which will be this week's game. It's a 7 o'clock our time in Alabama. It's an 8 o'clock Eastern time kick, but a 7 o'clock in Alabama kick. That will be covered, I believe, on CSS, College Sports South, and it will be at North Gwinnett Stadium. That's above Atlanta. Of course, that game will be on the road, and we'll be on the road for the next 4 or 5 weeks, but this will be a big game for us. North Gwinnett has a big, powerful offensive line. On the offensive line, they have about 3, I believe, Division I players already committed, and got a big-time quarterback, big-time receivers, a great running back, and defensively always sound. We're looking to have another fun night. but at the same time, a very tough night on the football team, because this is a very good football team in the sense that they are usually a quarterfinal to semifinal team over in Georgia in the large school rankings. We've had one game against North Gwinnett a couple of years ago in the Champions Challenge, which it was called Border Wars at that time, and we were successful in that opportunity, but I know it's going to be tough going up to North Gwinnett, playing at their home field, and of course playing this talented team that they have at this time. Again, 7 o'clock kick. We look forward to seeing you there. I hope you have a safe trip up. And again, as always, go Lions.